Recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
Hey-o! Thank you for tuning into the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And this week, we are going back all the way, 20 years, in fact, to the day that changed our country forever. The date was September 11th, 2001, a day that will live on in infamy. And anyone who is around and old enough remembers the events of that day like it was yesterday. And for myself, Kevin, and Lee, we not only remember the aftermath, but we actually preserved it on film. So I thought I'd have my two road trip buddies back to the show to discuss the events that occurred during that period of time. And don't worry, we're not going to focus on all the doom and gloom of the era, but it is a unique story that I felt needed to be shared. So without further ado, please give me a warm welcome to a couple of my closest friends, Mr. Kevin McKinnon and Lee Olson. Kevin, Lee, how you two stud muffins doing?
I'm good. I was waiting for Kevin to talk.
Kevin, what's going on, buddy? How you been? How the kids? How they're doing?
Everybody's doing fantastic. But,
Good to hear.
Not much has changed in our life. Still working, and kids are going to school.
Still crazy. Yeah. So I saw you fixed up your backyard. That looks awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's 5 years to get grass, and so my youngest child now, for the first time in his life, has a house with grass in it.
That's awesome. So do you keep your boat there now, or do you still bring that back from Ellensburg or wherever you brought that frack from?
No, we keep it at the house, and I just take it out of the water in the fall and just keep it in the driveway. So
right on.
We get it wrapped like a present every year.
Gotcha.
I know, not too exciting, but yeah.
Awesome, man. And Lee, you recently volunteered at a local food bank.
I did. Yeah.
How did that go?
It was all right. I felt a little bit pissed off that we were doing lunches for kids. I shouldn't feel pissed off for that, but you guys know how I feel about parents not feeding their own kids.
What is that all about anyway? So they feed all the kids for it's good that, kids are being fed. We don't want kids to be starving, but
and I don't know, out here, I make some room for out here because, we're volunteering in Gary. There's a true need.
Yeah.
I actually am kind of okay with it out here because there's a legit chance that a high percentage of the people just can't afford to feed their kids. I still have an issue with having kids if you can't afford to feed them, but whatever. But out here, it's okay. And I don't know. They said that they feed 3,400 school kids.
Wow.
I think per week.
So, okay, I just want to guess what's in these lunches, okay? So you were building the lunches, so I kind of want to take a little guess here. So I'm just going to go by what, if I forgot my lunch back in the day, what they would give me. And it happened a couple
and then
times.
You should probably guess at what the government gives them, or what. Well, this is the food bank, so this is a separate thing.
Oh,
so
gotcha. Okay. So, I'm just still gonna fly with it. So basically, what they gave me when I forgot my lunch was 2 end pieces of the bread. Backwards. They would turn it backwards for some reason, and then so basically the heels of the bread, and they would put like a big glob of peanut butter right in the middle. With a tiny little carton of 2% milk and a red apple. Am I close?
No.
Oh.
No, these went into backpacks, and each pack had
backpacks.
2 tiny cans of soup, 2 fruit roll-ups, 2 little tiny boxes of cereal, 4 cereal bars like Trix and Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or whatever, just garbage candy. 2 packs of peaches.
Interesting.
2 juice boxes.
Sounds like a lot of sugar.
It was all packaged, complete garbage food.
Wow.
There was nothing. Now, again, hey, they're giving kids food, and it's better than no food.
Right, yeah.
It was all garbage. It was all complete.
Oh man, that kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure the kids like it. I would have preferred a Trix, candy bar to an apple.
I remember Velasco talking about how they'd bring breakfast for the kids, and it would be like those little packages of like donuts and stuff. And I go, are they really? They're really giving donuts to kids for like breakfast? That's crazy. So yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah. But whatever. Jewel and I wanted to volunteer somewhere, so we went and did it, and it felt fine. It was good. I thought it was ironic that they had me packing school lunches, given my stance on school lunches.
Well, and then on my end, we had the annual draft party, and it was nice to. It's always nice to be in a draft that people are like, actually wanting to be there and have fun. Like Toppy and his wife. No, his
totally.
girlfriend,
That was so rad. I wish their connection had been better.
They always bring the entertainment to these draft parties now. It's pretty awesome. Like, what did they dress up like? Strange Brew.
Yeah, they did Strange Brew, Cheech and Chong.
Dazed and Confused. Oh, and Jay and Silent Bob, right?
Oh, yeah.
They made costume change. It's not like this draft is like a long draft. It's like, I don't know, like an hour.
So it was like an hour.
So anyway, yeah. So that was fun. But guys, the reason I wanted to have you both on the show today is because we were all together on 9/11 for the famous road trip. And first, I'd like to go a little bit back and discuss the epic year of 2001 in general, because leading up to that trip, it's packed full of, crazy events that we kind of like. It was one of the busiest years that we kind of had. Like, and I have all the tapes of this year because we've pretty much filmed everything, that happened that year. Kevin and I.
We didn't. You did.
Well, no, Kevin did too, man. Like,
that's true.
Yeah,
I guess Kevin was filming stuff.
Kevin, you and I, we were like right out of college with that video degree, so we're like, well, let's get video cameras.
Yeah, I had that was back when you got what did I get? I had like the flip open JVC that took a little tiny, little 2-inch wide tape. I mean, the thing's probably a nostalgic piece of art by now.
Totally.
But,
totally. And we could actually, if you or I needed a battery or a tape, we had essentially the same kind of camera. So we could always go back and forth with our equipment. So that was kind of nice. But so looking at the timeline of that year, so I think it kind of kicked off with Kevin. This is according to the tapes. So I went back to the tapes, and Kevin, the first one I saw was your going away party, and it said January 12th, Kevin's going away party. So I'm guessing that was when you ended up taking that job into California, correct?
Yep, that's when I moved to Sacramento.
Yeah. So now, just as a refresher, what was that job?
I was marketing promotion coordinator for a top 40 radio station in Sacramento. And at the time I was working for Entercom, had been working for Entercom for a couple of years. And I saw it as a career move to, take a better position at a radio station that actually did a lot more promotions than the one I was working at in Seattle, with the hope that do that in a couple of years and then come back up to Seattle and become a marketing director at one of the Seattle stations.
Right. Now, top 40, it was like top 40 radio. Now, it was kind of like, top 40 radio, in like 2001 was, I don't know, there's like a,
In sync. Let's see, who did I meet? I got, when I worked there, I met a couple of the Backstreet Boys. I met Jessica Simpson. I met Blue Cantrell.
Nice.
There's a couple other boy bands that like One Direction or One Division or Divided, one of those boy bands.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like Kiss 106 or something like that.
Exactly.
In Seattle.
Nope, it's sister station.
Oh,
Kiss
is it really?
was the sister station.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I take that back. Kiss 106 wasn't Entercom. But yeah, exactly like that.
Gotcha.
Same exact station.
Gotcha. That's funny. Yeah. And Lee, were you still in college, or is that?
Oh yeah.
You were.
I was behind you guys, so I was because I just started in spring of 2000 at Seawoo. I was still there.
Okay.
Lee's still in college, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think I ever left.
Lee's still like working on his doctorate.
I know. They're called
doctorate. He's still working on it. Hey.
Yeah, I got nothing.
When did you leave college, Lee?
College or Central? Which, basically 2002 or 3. I don't even remember.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so
2002 would have been 2002.
Now, okay, gotcha. Now, so Kevin, you took that job in California. I was still working at KISW in the Buzz, And in between that, there were like, I'm still doing those promos and stuff like that. So I'm getting all these like, free concert, things. And Lee, I totally forgot about this until I saw kind of like the notes, or I was going through like a ticket stub, and I saw that this was one of the ones that you and I went to the AC/DC concert at the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah.
And
I got great memories of that one.
And we had decent tickets to that show, but Lee, what happened to that concert?
Oh, dude puked on me.
I remember Lee,
Puked
Lee, you
from
were
behind
so
us
pissed.
when I was wearing shorts.
Oh God, yeah, and like it was like right on the back of your legs, right down like your shoes and everything. And I couldn't stop. I mean, it wasn't funny, but I
mean, it was funny.
No, it was funny only because you were so pissed. I was like, oh man, I distinctly remember, and I said this to you a lot with a lot of things, but I remember always saying, Lee, in 20 years, you're going to think back to this and laugh. And well, here we are, Lee. So is it funny yet?
I mean, sure. I don't know. It's fine. Like, I was pissed, but also I've been drunk at events too. I've never puked on anyone.
Yeah,
but,
right. Well, that's the
like,
difference.
fine. If you get drunk for an AC/DC concert, I'm with you. It's fine. And so I wasn't even really pissed at the dude. I mean, I was pissed at the dude. Don't get me wrong, but like, yeah.
I've had lots of beers spilled on me from people behind me, but I don't think I've ever been puked on. So, but that was gross because we had to smell puke the rest of the show.
Right.
So,
right. And he was annoying, and like I don't remember anything about the concert except him. Because he was just ruining it for everyone. Ruining it for me anyway.
What I do remember is like they had that big floating big fat chick, and it was like, a whole lot of Rosie or whatever. And
oh right. Yeah.
I do remember that. They had some cool props, but yeah, I definitely remember the smell of puke for a lot of that show.
Yeah.
But going into May is a very important event that happened that year. In May, I worked my last ever event with KISW, which was the Tom Petty concert. And that ended up actually kind of being a good thing for me personally, just because I could spend more time hanging out with you guys. Because like I was always working, I don't know how we did it, but like, at the time I was like working like 5 jobs, like all these, promos and working construction and doing all those weddings and stuff with Kevin. But I could hang out more with you guys, which was kind of like a good thing. Ethan's bachelor party was like in June. Another famous Lee story happened with that one, but we'll move on to that. But Kevin, when did you end up moving back to Washington? It was later that year, right? Like in the summer?
Yeah, I think it was June or July.
Okay. Gotcha.
I honestly, I don't remember.
I think it's July, or maybe you're right. I think it's like June or July, because I found a video of you and I boating with Velasco on Lake Washington. So I'm guessing
Free or post cake.
Yeah. And
that was the same year that I think that was Cake Gate.
Oh, Cake Gate. Wait, wasn't that on for
that was
Columbia?
Labor Day weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Sorry,
Lee.
I sidetracked.
Yeah. And then Lee, you and I went to Mexico with Ryan. And that was like mid-July, which if you're planning on going to Mexico, don't go in mid-July because it is not cold. It is gross.
Are you sure we didn't go in 2002?
I think I have a videotape that says July 2001 on there.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and there's a reason why. One of the reasons for me knowing that was 2001 is because I remember us on the way down there, and the flight attendants, they were like, "Hey, you guys want some drinks?" And we're like literally roaming around the plane and stuff like that. That didn't happen after 9/11.
Right.
It was actually, you guys remember that? It was like it was actually fun to travel before 9/11. It was pleasurable. Like
unless you were with Ryan and Vic. Yeah.
And Vic.
Yeah. But I get your point. Yes,
yeah, right. And I think that happened after 9/11.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think it's funny because going back and forth between you guys with these events, we hung out a lot, and it wasn't always separately, but we all hung out together as well. Like Kevin, I think that you and I went to the Dave Matthews concert at the Gorge, and I think that was like when Jessie came out to visit you, like after you were up there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, and I think that was like I think I've talked about this. That was the one concert I remember like sitting back and I actually fell asleep at the concert on the grass. But the summer finally started to wind down. The 2001 summer started to wind down, and we all took a trip out to the dunes where the famous "His Name Is Lala" video took place. And that was kind of like our last hoorah.
That was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. So that was like that was the 1st of September, right? Yeah. So because I think that's time stamped on the video. But yeah, we need to find that kid, by the way. He's got to be in his 30s now or something, right?
Find that middle-aged man.
But yeah, there's one last thing that took place right before our planned trip, and it was a house party up in Queen Anne. And Kevin, I don't know if you were there for that one, but I know Lee was.
Yeah, I sadly remember this one.
And Lee, do you remember what?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember the.
I know Ryan was there because I can still hear Ryan laughing in my ear about this.
Yeah,
because I think we were the ones that were outside.
That was a microcosm of like every time I thought I was doing well with a chick at that point.
Well, and this always plays into the like Lee was notoriously. You're always like kind of like the nice guy, right?
Right.
So,
yes.
And Kevin and I were not like we weren't like
Thank
mean.
you for shopping at the Home Depot.
Kevin's at Home Depot.
Kevin, are you at Home Depot right now?
Yeah, well, yes, I'm. Yeah.
What did you buy, buddy? How much is
what
it?
did you
How
get?
much is a sheet of OSB?
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
That's awesome.
I had to buy some notched V-trowels for one of my guys for a job we're doing right now.
Well, all right.
So
Awesome.
I'm trying to multitask, and I was trying to be discreet about it.
That's amazing. That's awesome. No, so Lee,
Didn't you get some money for that, by the way? If that plays on your show,
right?
I think we should reach out to him.
All right. Yeah, that was a free advertisement for Home Depot.
Yeah, there you go. Like my 10 listeners. Yeah. Yeah. No. So I just remember I was outside this sliding glass door. We were at a house party. I think it was like one of those radio parties, Kevin. I don't know if you were there, but
okay. So I'm going to be completely honest. That summer when I got back is a complete haze.
yeah, there
was a lot of
yeah, because you had just
nope. It was more just the drinking that was occurring on my side and became a resident staple at the Red Dog Saloon that summer. So sorry to sidetrack.
the Red Dogs. Yeah, I know. I do remember Kevin would come over with like a case of beer or like a half rack, and he just like set it in between his legs, like in that living room that we had. And I was like, "Oh, hey, Kevin." But so anyway, Ryan and I were outside. We glance in through the sliding glass door, and we see that this chick sitting on Lee's lap, and I was like, "Damn, way to go, Lee!" And then Lee, what happened after that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was it was finally I'd been talking to that girl or whatever, and yeah, we just sat down. She was sitting on my lap, and I was like, "Hey, this is cool, whatever." Didn't know her very well at all, but I mean, I was like, "Hey, this is progress. You got a girl sitting on your lap." And I was talking to, you remember, I think Ryan's cousin James was there. And
Yes.
I was talking to him because we were talking cars because the girl was apparently, I think she was like a BMW mechanic or something. She was a car chick.
Whoa.
And so I was talking with James kind of and her about cars or whatever. And I'd turn and I was talking to James over my shoulder. And then he gets kind of a weird look on his face. And I look and I think Ryan was looking too. And I turn around and I notice that she's sitting on my lap still, but she is definitely not paying attention to me because she's making out with another dude who is a little person on the floor. He's standing on the floor and making out with her while she's sitting on my lap. And then he starts to climb up on my lap with her to make out with her
You can't
on
make
my
this
lap.
shit up. You can't make this up. Like
No,
this
and
is
you guys, I mean, you guys witnessed it. You had a probably better view than me, and I, awkwardly squirmed out from underneath that situation and was anxious to leave the party.
Yeah, I was definitely not there.
Yeah. So, Kevin, have you ever had a midget make out with a BMW mechanic chick on your lap? I have.
No. No. I think those things only happen to you.
Oh God, so funny,
Sadly.
man. Oh God, I'm like sweating laughing at that. Okay, all right. So, so anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah, so what you're saying is 2001 only got better for me from there, right?
No, I'm saying it was a pretty entertaining year, and the reason I wanted to build up to this because it was like events like that were kind of like all over the place, but I think it paints a picture of how life was in general before that time. So definitely, yeah, Kevin, what's going on, buddy? Where are you now? You at Lowe's?
Who's advertising now? Coffee stand?
No, I'm back in my office.
Okay, wait, is your office your truck?
Well, yes.
All right, so
I was trying to sound more professional there. But
Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
yes, it is.
Gotcha. Okay. No, you don't have to sound professional. I mean, you literally were just in a Home Depot and it says, thank you for shopping at Home Depot. So, yeah, I don't think there's going anywhere from that. But anyway.
Unless you work at Home Depot now. Are you a Home Depot manager?
Well, I got to supplement my income, so.
Yeah, well, hey, times are tough. So, all right, so I'm going to definitely need to have you guys help piece together, the rest of this here. So now, I don't know who came up with the trip. It might have been one of those things where it was like, Lee and I had always been talking about like going down to Arizona, but I don't know if Lee, did you ever come down to Arizona before for like spring training and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'd been down for spring training once or
Gotcha.
twice.
So you had an idea of Arizona. I didn't. I had my parents met in Arizona, but I really had no idea about Arizona or anything like that. But we'd always kind of be like, let's move to Arizona. You're like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I think we're going to do the kind of like the round road trip where we go down, through Oregon, California, and then circle around to Arizona and then, up through whatever. Right. So I think it was kind of like one of those things where, back in the day, we didn't really have any schedules. So we were like, kind of like, yeah, sounds good. Let's go. So
Totally. Right.
So
yeah, that age. That's a good road tripping age.
Exactly.
Well, I think it was more of we were all working for Brian at the time, and it was like he won't care if we all take time off.
Well, that's exactly what we're saying.
Right. Although I don't think I worked for Brian yet. I was still in college, attempting my
You were
doctorate.
still in college, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so Lee, you had been in Idaho for the last few days or something, right?
Yeah, I went and visited my mom. She lived in Boise, and so I flew in like that night, September 10th. You guys picked me up at
I think
almost midnight or something?
Yeah, I think that Kevin and I kind of agreed that we're like, you know what? If we got to pick up Lee anyway, and we're already ready to go, let's just throw this stuff in the truck and pick him up. And I think Lee goes, yeah, let's just pick me up from the airport. Let's go. I was like, all right.
I already have my shit packed. I didn't need to pack anything.
And this was September 10th. This is like at night. So Kevin
you guys
and
picked me up at SeaTac September 10th.
Yeah, isn't that wild? So September 10th. I don't know what time it was, like 7 o'clock at night or something like that.
It was later. I thought it was later.
Night? Was it 8 or 9? Yeah, whatever.
I thought it was like 9 or 10, but again,
was it? Okay.
I might have been drinking by then.
Right. Well, because you remember that, I met that girl on the plane and we ended up giving her a ride home.
Oh yeah, right.
Yep.
Right, because there were no cabs or something. So it was late enough that she couldn't get an easy ride home. So.
Yeah, this is pre-Uber. Yeah. So and I was like, oh, I guess we'll try to push the stuff that we have in the car over. And remember we were idiots. We had like that cooler like in the.
It was packed.
The whole thing was like a mess. But I think we actually. What was that girl's name? Was Christina or something like that?
I think so, yeah. I messed it up, yeah.
Yeah. But the reason I know that is because we had her in payment of us, going back off. We had to go way back up.
I think she was up by UW, right?
Yeah. So we drop her off, and we find out that she was like a music major.
Violin.
Right.
So we're like, all right. So in payment of the ride that we just gave you, play us something on your was it violin, Kevin?
Yeah, I think it was the violin, yeah.
So she played, and we're like, wow, she's a music major. She's got to be amazing, right? So she plays like Little Lamb or what did she play?
I think it's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Oh my
I was
God.
Say, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, yeah.
Oh my God. I was like,
It was so terrible.
Oh my God. Yeah, so.
I hope she got better. I hope she kept with her studies.
You hope she stuck with her original plan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, we're off. Now we're like, now we're on the road, and Lee's like, I think, well, we're in our 20s, so we're always hungry. So like, we're like, all right, let's fuel up. We're like, we didn't make it far. We're like down to like Tacoma or Fife or something. We stop at Wendy's and then we're fueling up for the road. All right, now we're off. So we're driving all night, right? And I think Kevin, you're in the back, right? Or I think that's how it went. Or did you start off driving?
I think I was. Yeah, no, I was riding in the back seat. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
We couldn't.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't room back there for me.
Yeah,
and
so,
the tires would scrape.
Yeah. So I just remember. So what I remember, the only thing I really remember before daylight is Lee kept saying, "Hey man, I'm doing pretty good right now, but make sure that can we make sure that we turn that heat down because I don't want to get too comfortable and it's still dark." And I was like, "Can we just turn it up a little bit? I'm freezing." Right.
Yeah. Well, because I was tired. I had flown in, and I didn't want to drive us off the road. But
so I just remember like laughing like really hard at Lee because like Lee's like, "Don't turn up the heat." And I go, "It's freezing. Look at Kevin back there," and he's like freezing, and then like Kevin's like fucking gone. He's like sleeping, but it's. I wanted someone else to.
That
like,
was on log. Yeah, I was passed out.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so we head into the AMPM. And it's daylight. So we
we were in
right?
Redding, California, as I recall.
Redding, California.
We're just outside of Redding.
Yeah, and I think
it was early. It was 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, it was really super early. So and I remember not Kevin.
It would have been at least 7.
Yeah.
There are some landmarks on that day.
Right. Yeah. So Lee, I think Kevin and I are like just chilling in the car or around the car. This is how I see it in my head. I don't know if it's completely accurate, but I think Lee went into like, pay or whatever. And he comes back out and he goes, yeah, you guys should probably go in there and check out the lady has like this TV going on.
Yeah, because I'd walked in there and obviously we had been playing CDs and stuff. We didn't know. We were just driving through the night. CDs, nothing, whatever. And yeah, I walked in there and she had a TV on back there and there were a couple people and they were just kind of milling around. And it wasn't even really clear what was going on, but it was, I think she said something like, "Yeah, the World Trade Center is on fire, like a plane hit it."
Yeah, like, okay.
Which probably meant maybe it was after the second one had hit, because I don't think a lot of people had pieced a lot together.
Right.
But anyway, I walked out to you guys. I was like, yeah,
and I
should probably turn the radio.
Yeah,
on.
I think I walked in there. I went to go to the bathroom or something like that, and I think. That was like really, like, honest to God, like one of the towers like just fell or something like that. And the lady's like, oh my God. Like, I was like, what the hell? What's going on? And so at that point we're like, okay, let's go somewhere where we could watch like what's going on. Because we don't have smartphones. We can't just turn on the news and stuff. So we have to like try to figure out where we can go. Because we were on our way to somewhere, but we're still pretty far away from where we needed to.
We were on our way to Sacramento because I remember I still had, friends there that we could stay with for free.
Exactly. So I think didn't we hit up like a hotel and we just went into the lobby?
Yeah, it was a hotel lobby.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. That's exactly
And what I remember about that, and I know that I remember talking to Lee about this after the fact, but Lee, I just remember I was looking at the old people and they're just casually just, eating their breakfast and, that's the most important part of their day. So they're literally just, focusing on like, putting that grape in their mouth or whatever they're eating. And I was like, oh my God, like, and we're just like sitting there like with our mouths open, like watching the TV and like the news. And I'm like, look at these people. They don't even care. You're like, yeah, you know why they don't care? They went through like Pearl Harbor.
Right. Right.
So I was like,
looking back now, like old people just are kind of watching the world,
Yeah.
But it wasn't. They had all lived through that. Yeah,
it was fascinating. So Kevin, we head to Jessie's, and was that the original plan? They were just like gonna crash on their floor or something like that at their place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because again, we weren't millionaires because none of us invested in Amazon.
No, it was really cool that we like planned out. We had friends that would let us crash on their couches and stuff, So it was cool. And again, our bodies are, 25-year-old bodies. it doesn't matter where we sleep or, what we're doing, like whatever. We're just couch surfing, just driving wherever. And, we didn't even have a plan for the road trip really. Right? I mean,
no, I think that was the loose plan was Kevin knows some people in California.
Yeah. So anyway, we were watching the news and it's just like crazy. And we're just like, you know what?
Well, you did skip over what is possibly my favorite part, but also the part that shows that I'm a giant asshole. There were several points during this that shows it. Do you remember what happened once we got on the freeway? Once we called everybody, we called our families, made sure everybody was healthy and happy and whatever, or healthy and alive. But do you remember what happened after that when we got on the road from the hotel to Sacramento?
Oh, isn't that where you're like, well, I've never had the chance to do this, so...
Yeah, unfortunately, we were in. Was it a Corolla? Your Toyota Corolla
with like a 400 pounds of.
400 pounds of people and gear and yeah. But I remember distinctly thinking, like we had called everybody. Everybody's like, "Well, I don't know," and like we had all talked about it. I don't know if you guys remember. We talked about should we turn around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what should we do?
That was distinctly right. Do we turn around? Do we go back home? Do we continue on? This is weird.
Well, and luckily, and this is one of the things we talked about too, and I think Lee definitely pointed this out because they shut down all the airports. So it's a good thing we weren't flying. we had free transportation, as far as like where we can go and where we can, travel to. So that played a big factor and we were like, well, just let's keep going. So, but yeah, what did you end up doing, Lee? You like,
I drove as fast as that car would go for 100 miles. I mean, and I don't know if you guys remember, I had to pass a semi in the grass median and, Josh, I'm surprised you didn't have, a heart attack on that one.
Yeah, I probably did. I was probably trying to hold on to the weenie bar.
Yeah, but no, I remember distinctly thinking after we made sure everybody was okay and after we had kind of decided, hey, we're going to keep going with this, as clear as any other thought I have really ever had was this is the only day where there will absolutely not be a speed trap.
Yep.
And if a cop does pull us over, he's not going to give us a ticket.
Right.
This is the only day that I know of in my life that I can drive as fast as I want.
And the shitty thing is, you were in a 1999 Toyota Corolla.
Maybe it was a good thing because look, if I had been in a better car, I don't know how it ends.
We'd be that guy
because I definitely put it to the wood and left it there the whole way.
Yeah, great. Yeah, we'd be who's that guy from the Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah, Paul Walker.
Yeah, we'd be Paul Walker. Yeah, so it's a good thing we were in the nice safe Toyota Corolla that hits 110 at the top speed.
Yeah, it couldn't go very fast, but I buried it the whole way.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we get to Jessie's place and we're watching the news and we're just kind of like, well, what else is there to do? Let's drink.
Don't forget, when we got there, we were exhausted. You guys were tired because you've been up all night, so we pulled out sleeping bags and everybody was crashed on the floor with the TV on in the background.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah,
right, so we didn't go out until later that night.
Right. Yeah. So, because we got there like pretty early in the day, right?
Yeah, it was like 9 or something because it was 7 in Redding.
Yeah. So, and then, Lee, what is...
I'm not even going to relive that. I'm not going to relive the acronym. Nope, we live in a cancel culture, and I am not participating in that.
I didn't even say anything.
Yeah, no, here's my blanket disclaimer for all of this. I have learned that, I have the most inappropriate sense of humor of anybody you'll ever meet. And certainly when things go wrong, I default to real gallows humor.
But that's why I cherish the fact that I was with you guys on that day. Because there are people that we could have been with that... it would have been a lot different of an experience. Obviously we were far away from, the East Coast. So, which that helped, obviously.
Right.
And we don't want to, disparage anything that happened on that day, obviously. But comedians in general always take these kind of moments and they turn them around because it's like a defense mechanism, isn't it? I mean, so.
Oh, for sure. Well, and looking back on it, I know, like for me, I was very uncomfortable with what happened for a lot of reasons. And certainly the way that I deal with that stuff is humor. Yeah. And so, I've had 20 years to think about how I reacted to that whole thing. And I don't have any real regrets, but I certainly have sort of analyzed why I do things a little bit differently than others. And I think it falls on, I was super uncomfortable with what I saw and sort of the the stories that were coming out, and I have gallows humor. I just do.
Right, and you actually called it way before, anybody that I knew. We have it on video. You're like, oh, it's Bin Laden. It's Bin Laden. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that comes from, I've always been just sort of a closet, foreign policy person. It has just always interested me. And so I knew, the bombings in Dar es Salaam and Nairobi in 98, and then the USS Cole in 2000. It was, I had paid attention to all that stuff. I'd paid attention to it and knew what it was. Yeah. And I don't know if it, I'd like to see the video and see how I actually phrased it if we have it on there, because to my recollection I said they're gonna say this was Bin Laden. Yeah,
you were like because you were pretty hammered at that point, but you're still saying it on. You're like, it's Bin Laden.
So anyway,
So
yes,
Kevin, one of my favorite moments was hearing Trapt in Jessie's car for the first time, which I looked this up. And so remember, we were driving with her. I don't know if it's the next day, and she goes, "Hey, you guys want to hear?"
It was the same day.
Was it the same day?
The same day. Yeah.
She goes, "Hey, you guys want to hear my friend's band?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, love when chicks say that. Your friend's band, great." and she puts it on. I just remember I was like, I can't wait to. I'm purposely looking at you guys because I got to see you guys' reaction. And she puts it on, and it's literally that song "Headstrong" by Trapt, and I remember Lee going, "Holy shit!" And he's like, "Dude, this is amazing. This is
this is good.
This is legit, a good song." And both Kevin and I were like, "Yeah, this is actually a solid radio ready song," which is amazing because that song was not even officially released by a major label for over a year, after that. So. That's kind of cool that we heard that song. It didn't sound any different to me. It sounded it was a complete finished song, and it came out in November of 2002. We were
I didn't know it was that.
Isn't that crazy?
But I did I had the exact same feeling, that you just mentioned. The girl says, "Oh, here, you want to hear my friend's band?" And automatically your reaction is, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, okay. Dude, because how many times do you hear that? Your
it's anyone who says, "Hey, you want to hear my friend's band?" It's no, I don't, because they're gonna suck.
I go straight to Atomic Lush.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that. Hey, you guys want to hear my friend's band? They're like, yeah, and then they'd be like, dude, my mind's blown. It's blown.
Hey, do you want to hear me scratch my fingernails down a chalkboard?
Oh man, so yeah, that was pretty cool, man. So kudos to Jessie on that one. Wow, geez.
Yeah, she was ahead of the game on that.
Crazy. So. I don't know if we kind of started trying to empty out the cooler of beer that we were just hauling around, but I love that partly where you said that you sat in the car and it literally looked like if you were going to sit in the back, it was going to scrape the back of the wheel.
Yeah. And to anyone listening, I have some gravity to me. And Kevin is not as heavy as I am.
But that's the funny thing. You're kind of like Chunk in Goonies, where you're not like a fat kid, but maybe
you don't need to kiss my ass. It's okay, buddy. I weigh twice as much as Kevin, and that's a mechanical issue when you're driving a car with 400 pounds of beer in it.
Oh, well, compared to Kevin, okay. Yeah. No, so I do remember, so we started heading down after that. We started driving south towards LA, and that was when Kevin was, he's like, you know what? I'm taking the wheel on this one. So I was in the back, filming Kevin driving, and Lee pulls out a map. And I didn't expect it to go this way, but dude, it was
You
cool.
might have to back up there for a minute.
All right.
You might need to back up there and describe what a map is.
Yeah, right. Nobody knows what that is.
20 years later.
That's true. Yeah. So, back when pirates used to hold up those big, giant, floppy things with
an
roads
actual
on them.
paper document.
3 dudes in a lowered Corolla, not lowered because you were looking for cool, but lowered because of the weight.
Right.
Tinted windows with a, poster-sized map and front seat sprawled out across the windshield, and you can barely see out of it.
Right. Yeah. Kevin has his head turned trying to look at the road. Lee has this big giant map, and he's pointing down this road. He's like, so we just went here.
Oh, no. That wasn't the map in the way.
Oh.
Remember, that's
it was my fat face, remember?
Yeah. So I was like, I I really didn't mean. I wanted Lee to explain where we were going and whatever, and then Lee turns it into like he always does. He always turns it into comedy gold. Where I was like, Lee, can you turn your face a little bit when you're talking to the camera, because I can't see you talking. And then he like, and what was your famous line? You're like,
I don't know. Was
like,
my fat face in the way?
Oh, because my fat cheek is in the way. Like you,
Right.
And I was like, oh god. So yeah, that was just kind of funny. But you guys remember all the flags? Like, remember it was like a big thing. Like right after 9/11, I was like, it's like the last time in United States history where everyone united together. but everyone was like all about the United States and USA, and everybody was buying these flags and hanging them like all over the place. So if you had a flag, you're displaying that sucker. And I think we even tried to go and do like a little convenience store and buy like just some flag to hang up.
I think we had a couple of them to hang out the car. Like
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that was really cool though. I mean, it was cool to sort of feel, and I'm sure it's similar to what people felt after Pearl Harbor. It's like we're all at least on the same page with what we're thinking about today.
Yeah.
And nobody had really started to fracture. I mean, obviously, people ended up with different opinions of how we should have responded, but for that moment, kind of that first couple days, everyone was like, oh, they just, somebody just punched all of us in the face.
Right.
And it was kind of cool. It was cool to see.
It was kind of cool. If anything good came from it, that short period of time where we were like, dude, everyone was angry. Everyone was, pissed and upset. It was like it was just like a weird like thing of just endless emotions. Like it was weird, but the fact that we were all United States citizens, so that's something we could always, get behind. But so we went to what was the thing that we actually went to? We got down to San Diego. Am I skipping things here? No, we went to Newport Beach.
We went to L.A. and stayed with Nicole.
Yep. So we crashed it on another couch. Yep. And
Did we even see her? I don't think we even saw her the whole time we were there.
I think that because she had to work. So I think she'd like opened up the door and we like crashed on the couch, and then the next morning she's like, you guys can let yourself out, and I was like, all right. So like we just went to the beach, and then from there we went to find Lee's buddy.
Yeah, which was shocking. That was the dumbest thing ever. I didn't even know that dude that well, but he had said all he said was, I'm gonna be surfing in San Diego for the summer. That's all the information I had.
That is so wild. I still cannot believe that we found that guy. Like
on the first try. We pulled into Coronado State Park or whatever it was. We turned left, and there was a campsite, and I was like, that looks like his truck.
That is
and
so
we walk
crazy.
out, and Derek walks out, and he's like, what the fuck? Holy shit.
So weird.
I have no idea how I found, like, we just drove, all he said was, I'm going to be surfing in San Diego. And we walked right to his campsite.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I met that guy once, like at like a house
right,
party or
yeah,
something.
he was kind of a friend of a friend. He was friends with
Yeah.
Robbie and Rob's friend. So he had been over at our house and partied a lot. But
dude,
yeah.
I was like, I got to get this on film because this guy, like, if he does, see, and he was like, what are you doing? What's going on? What is this? Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny. But yeah, so from there we go on to San Diego. I don't know if you guys have been to San Diego. I'd never been to San Diego, so I was like, let's just like drive around. I don't know what to look for.
I'd never been down there.
And again, this isn't one of these, we can't like, YouTube things to do in San Diego. It's just like, all right, let's go to San Diego.
Right.
So,
Didn't we, when we headed down that way, though, that was when we decided to take the 101 down, and we were using the nice big paper map. And I want to say that was when we made the wrong turn onto the wrong road.
No. That was going back up. Going down,
out?
we accidentally exited at Camp Pendleton and got guns drawn on us.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay, because I was thinking you were
'cause it was
saying
like
the time
2
that
days.
we almost ran out of fuel.
we got guns drawn. At least like, yeah, said, what does it say? Like security threat, like, I don't know what it was, but
1 million. It was September 12th or something after, they attacked the Pentagon and everything. We accidentally pulled off on the Camp Pendleton, one of the Camp Pendleton exits, and they're like, what's your purpose here? And we're like, we're going to San Diego. What for? What? We're like,
we don't know. That's not a good answer.
Right? And we're like, can we turn around? Turn around right there. Like they were not fucking around.
I was like, okay, that was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I think we're like, hey Lee, we're on that map. We're San Diego State University.
yeah. I think that's as close as we came to a plan.
Yeah, so we were just like, all right, let's play it by ear. So we just started driving through the campus. We're like, man, it's a lot different than home, I guess.
Right? Yeah.
We were looking for a hotel, right? And I don't know if we had just gotten the hotel or if we were still just, trying to see what hotels had the best like rates or whatever. And we're all sitting in the car and like we have pillows and stuff and like all just everything's packed in. And then these, was it 2 ladies that walked up to us or was it 1?
I think it was 2. It
was 2.
So what did they say, Lee?
I think the first thing she said, because remember we pulled a U-turn. Like we saw them, but we were just kind of laughing or whatever. And then we had pulled a U-turn because we had gone the wrong way.
Oh,
like,
right.
So we had pulled a U-turn and, looking back to an observer in their position, it probably looked like we were turning around to talk to them.
No, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so we pulled into that shitty motel parking lot to look at the map and to do whatever, and they come up to the window, and, they're like, oh, wow, you guys look like the Popo. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, well, are you guys looking for some fun? Or like, I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was 2 hookers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she wanted to make sure that we weren't the police first, right?
Right.
Because, don't police officers, don't they have to, let you know if they are the police if you ask that question or something? I don't know the
I've never been a prostitute, so I don't know the law. But that might be true. I don't know.
I don't know.
What the entrapment laws for street walking are.
Yeah, but, I remember Lee, making fun of that because, we look just like cops,
right. In a green Toyota Corolla with coolers of beer stacked to the ceiling in the back.
With pillows and stuff, packed all over. Yeah, we're the police. Yeah, we're the most dedicated undercover cops you'll ever see. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Kevin and I, we were, laughing really hard at that one. I remember that. But I don't know which one of you guys found it because probably wasn't me. Maybe it was Lee because Kevin and I are probably drunk. But the famous bar in San Diego that
No. You got to back up.
All right,
you got to back up before the bar.
Okay.
Because we decided to go to San Diego State University and drive through just to see what the school looked like.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
That was before the bar. That was after the Popo, but
Right.
that was before the bar, I think.
Yeah, there was just endless just blondes everywhere. It was the thing that Lee said. He's like, Jesus Christ. He's
yeah,
like,
you could throw a handful of rice here and every grain would hit a hot chick.
Yeah. Yes, I totally forgot about that. That line was epic. That was awesome. You could take a handful of rice. Yeah, so we weren't used to that. Yeah, so that was definitely foreign. Not that there aren't there's beautiful women everywhere, but it's just kind of interesting that everyone was
I think objectively we can say that San Diego State University has a higher population.
Or a higher percentage of
I think it's probably true.
Hot tan blondes. But yeah, so I don't know. So we found a bar. We're just like, all right, let's go to a bar that's did we walk to the bar from our hotel or did we? We had to have.
I don't remember if we got the hotel first, or walked there. Or...
Yeah, I think
we did. I think
we must have. I don't remember driving away from that.
Yeah, because I remember we'd always get our beers or drink whatever we had out of the cooler, and then I think we stumbled down to this bar. We just found this bar, and that bar's still there, Effin's Pub, and I just found out last week that it's a Seahawks bar, so that's kind of cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so so we go in there and we're in there I think we found that bar earlier in the day, and then we came back because they recommended that we come back because that was their big night or something like that. We're like, oh, even on 9/11?
Oh, come on. No. We went into that bar randomly, and there was nobody in there, and there was a chick bartender.
Yeah.
And we sat down to get some drinks and eat some food, I think. And then you went over to we started talking to the bartenders. We were the only ones in there. You went to the jukebox, and because of your talent, you were able to push in the numbers exactly for Mr. Roboto, which wasn't even on the list of songs to play.
I forgot about that.
So, and that in itself was amazing. You're like, I think it's G24.
Yeah, because...
And all of a sudden, Mr. Roboto came on.
Because I think that one of you wanted to hear that for some reason or something like that. But like
I promise you it wasn't me.
I think I had the CD, but it wasn't listed. I think it cut off that and I go, I know that's on the CD, and I think it's track 17 or something like that. And then you're like, dude, if that actually plays, dude, I don't even know what to do, because like that's just weird. So, and it played, and I was like, dude, it actually played. Yeah, so we were like, just playing random music, and we were like the only ones in there, right?
Yeah, we were having a good time, and then the conversation came up with where's the best bar to go to, because it was like a Wednesday or Thursday night. We're like, where's the best bar to go to tonight to, hang out and meet some people? And the bartender's like, here. And the three of us were like, no way, no, seriously, like where's the cool hot spot? Where do we want to go to? And she kept saying, here, here, here. And we're like, okay, if it's so fantastic and so great, then reserve us a table. And she goes, and remember, she did. She reserved us a table.
That's right.
By the front of the bar.
Dude, wow. Kevin's memory's amazing on this.
It is, yeah. I don't remember any. I remember going to Effin's. I don't remember anything else.
Yeah, I the only thing I remember is we looked up and we saw all those bras hanging from the fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are those bras? There's bras hanging from the fans that were actually swinging around like in circles on the top of the bar. Yeah, so
like you said, I mean, it was a memorable trip. There's it's one of those things where I don't think I'll ever forget the trip in general itself, but there's certain details, and I remember Effin's Pub being one of the details, because I remember us arguing with her saying this is not the hot spot to go to.
You're like,
there's no way people are hanging out at this shithole, excuse my language.
Yeah, you're the famous look. I'm a bullshitter. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. Don't do it, right? So like, yeah, and we were used to that, because like we did a bunch of promos and stuff between the two of us. Probably did 100 promos. So we're like, look, we know that you want to get drive business in here. We get it. We're not completely idiots, and I'd love for you to be someone that worked at my bar. But look, we're out of town. We have one night where we can go out and blah, blah, and just have a good time. And she goes, yeah, I'm serious. This is the bar, and this is the night where it's going to be fun. I promise you. And then, she reserved that table in the back, I believe, wasn't it?
It was right next to the bar, but it was like a stand-up table. And
right.
She said we had to be there by 10 or something if we wanted to keep it. I don't remember, but...
Yeah, and then when we were earlier in the day, we had Wigglies.
That's right. That's where we learned how to make the Wiggly.
Yeah. Lee, what's a Wiggly?
So,
yeah, Wigglies were tasty, man. They were, it's like a black and tan. You know how you can float Guinness on top of things, except the bottom half is Sprite. And I remember they put them in, like, kind of those Pilsner glasses, not the full pint or whatever. You put them in a Pilsner glass, and you put Sprite in, and then you gently pour the Guinness over the top, and it floats. It's like a black and tan, but they called them a Wiggly. And the whole point of it, though, and she enforced this, she's like, you can't sip it. You got to pound it. And we did. We pounded a lot of them.
Yeah. Not a lot of alcohol content, but they're good. They taste good.
It's,
Guinness and Sprite.
4 ounces of beer and 4 ounces of Sprite or something.
Right. Yeah, so I think, I don't know if there's any more details about San Diego, but...
And sad news, I just looked up Effin's Pub. They closed in December 2020.
What? No!
Yep.
No!
Yeah, sorry, man.
Man. Oh, well, they had a good run, man.
24 years.
Oh, really? They were... Yeah. So we probably hit it like right at the peak. The first 5 years of that place was probably, hopping, man. Hopping.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it opened apparently in 96.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Well, that's sad to hear.
So it wasn't even that. It hadn't even been open that long.
Right.
5-6 years.
Yeah. So we're. I think. Yeah. At that point, we're just like, all right. Do we continue on, or just? I mean, at that point, we're like, all right. Just let's just cut this short. I mean, what are we gonna do? Like, I mean, we're gonna keep doing that.
We remember we kept running into just sort of like, first of all, San Diego is a military town. So it went promptly from everyone being patriotic to everybody realizing, oh shit, Dad's going away.
Yeah, right.
And that, like, it just started, like, the first day everybody was still in shock, but everybody was still doing their normal stuff. Day 2, everybody kind of paused. Day 3, all the airports were, everything was closed, and it became like a chore to figure out what to even do. So I mean, I think that's that, because I remember that playing into our decision, like, what even can we do?
Well, and also, I mean, we were kind of like, all right, everything's still on high alert too, and we are pretty far away from from our family and friends and stuff like that. So we're kind of like, all right, man, let's just, I guess we should just start heading back, because you don't know what's still going on. It's like hard to explain because like remember we're like, okay, are they gonna start attacking the West Coast now, or
right? No, yeah, everybody was worried that they were gonna attack more stuff because they didn't know. Nobody knew what the hell was going on.
Right. So yeah, so we just decided we're like, all right, let's head back, man. So yeah, we just started driving back, and we had some good times. Like we hit up Legoland.
We did stop at Legoland, sort of. Yeah.
Not
I
really.
remember we pulled in and we thought it was free because Legoland ought to be like Legoland should be fucking free.
Actually, Kevin, have you been to Legoland? Like, I mean, have you taken your kids or anything? Or are they into Legos?
Yeah, no, they're into Legos. No, we
Yeah.
have not been to Legoland.
Well, it'd be actually fun to go to Legoland if you have kids. Because Legos have like got, I mean, they were starting to get big, and they were always like cool, but like Legos now are like they're huge, right?
They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I mean, there you can buy Lego sets. Just go online and Google. Like my oldest son, one of his favorite Lego sets he has is a Bugatti, and it looks exactly like a Bugatti.
Wow.
And it's just and they got ones that you can have motorized engines in, and they're electric, and we've got a Lego set that looks exactly like the London Bridge, and another Lego set
Wow.
that looks like some tower, I want to say, in London, or maybe
the Tower
even
Bridge.
Dubai.
Yeah. Wow.
And,
That's wild,
So,
man.
you
Yeah.
got a Pikachu Lego that's like a foot tall and
Right.
stuff like that. So,
But to guys in their mid-20s that are just kind of, casually driving around, we just went up and we're like, well, yeah, there's Legoland. And then we just like,
Especially because we pulled in it. I think we were going to go. We're like, yeah, Legos are cool. Let's go take a look.
yeah.
But I don't know. I don't remember what the admission price 20 years ago was, but I just looked it up. How much do you guys think it costs to enter a one-person theme park only pass to get into Legoland is today?
So I think, I'm not positive, but I think that at the time it was like $24 per person or something like that.
Right. That sounds about right, and which was ridiculous at the time. I was
Right. We're like,
no,
we just like literally like laughed really loud and like,
yeah, and we just turned and we just spun around.
but yeah, what is it
beer
now?
money.
What is it now?
It's $89.99 per person to get in just for the theme park.
my
You can add the
God.
aquarium for another $10.
What?
So
There's
if
an
you wanted to
aquarium?
take your kid to Legoland in the aquarium, it's $100 per person. $99.99.
Wow. That's wild. I mean, I'd like to see video of Legoland just to see what I've never Googled it or anything like that, but
Right.
I just got to talk to Ryan. I'm sure he's got a bunch of video.
He's
Right.
been there. I know Ryan's been there. Yeah.
Ryan's been there
I
like
think he's
10
been there
times.
quite a few times.
Wow. That's wild. So we're driving back and just, basically we're just driving the entire time, right? I mean, there's like some...
I think at that point it had been a week, and we're just like, okay,
Yeah.
we don't, like you guys were saying, we don't know what's going on, because again, it was no smartphones, right? So
Right.
internet was there, but it wasn't like where everybody was going online to get their news. You got your news from the TV
Right.
and the newspapers, and we were 25, 26, and we listened to CDs.
Right.
We listened to your iPod.
And
Was the iPod even then? We had an iPod then.
no, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think it was all CDs.
Yeah. So, and I think that the phone. Remember, everyone started getting those little Nokia phones. So those were something that everyone started getting, but those are very primitive as well. So like, not everyone had a phone since 1997, like Kevin. But those little phones.
Well, I don't even think I had a flip phone yet. I mean, I think at that time we had. I don't know. I think I had a flip phone. I don't remember.
You had the Zach Morris phone for a while, right?
No, yeah, sort of like the Motorola flip, where just the mouthpiece flipped down. But yeah,
Gotcha.
back
So
in that was 95.
before we left, I don't know if I did this before we left or if I was like, if I did this in a hotel or what I did this for. But like, I was like, you know what? Because again, there wasn't like texting, right? I mean, that didn't come out until a couple of years ago, or not a couple of years ago, but a couple of years later or something like that. Except, for Velasco, he was texting people in 1999. But the fact that everyone had these phones, I was like, okay, so everyone has these phones. I'm just gonna draw. Like, what did I draw? I drew that thing that said, like, it was an eyeball and then like or I don't know, it was like I heart you or something like that. And then I'd get a girl's attention. I would just hold it up, right? And then I'd flip.
Which for the record only works for you, or at least it definitely never ever would have worked for me.
Well, did you try it? Did you?
Yeah, well, no, because I didn't want to get the cops called on me.
So anyway, I'd hold it up, and then the girl would go, "Oh, that's funny." So we'd flip it over, and they're like, and then it would have my phone number, and then we get the girl to call, and I'm like, I don't know if that would fly like right now. Like that'd be like creepy. That'd be like really, really creepy. I don't know. Maybe it was just kind of like everyone had phones, and it was kind of like a new toy.
So where you're saying society is now is where the rest of us have lived our whole lives, Josh. That didn't fly then for us. But for you, it was cool. Like, oh, hey, I'll just show this girl a sign that says I love you and give her my number, and that's good enough.
No, come on, man. No, that was but that was kind of funny. We were just like talking around. I was like, okay, but once you get them on a phone, they're like, okay, I don't know where we're going from there. Like we're heading home. Like, yeah. So anyway, I don't know if anything noteworthy happened after that point. We're just literally, like Kevin said, we're just driving home just to get home at that point. And we finally get back into civilization.
Well, hold on. Are you gonna skip over the part where we?
Oh no!
You remember when we were almost out of fuel and we decided to cut over to the 101?
Oh my gosh! Yes. Okay. All right.
Right. So we're driving and it's nighttime and we're in like I don't know Bakersfield or somewhere.
Oh my god!
And we're running out of fuel. And at this point we're pissed because fuel had gone up to like $5 a gallon or something, which at the time it like prior to 9/11 is like $1.50 a gallon.
Right.
And it had gone up to $5, and we were pissed. We're like, no, we're not paying that. Fuck you guys for gouging.
Well,
like,
yeah, because when you're in the middle of nowhere, they can kind of do whatever they want, right? With
totally.
The
well,
gas
but remember, we only had a paper map, and on the paper map, it looked pretty fucking simple. A short distance to get over to 101. We're like, hey, let's just go over there, and we had not much fuel.
Oh my god!
But we thought we were going to be fine because again, no internet, no way to call or text or whatever. And so we passed up. I don't know if you guys remember, we passed up 2 fuel stations getting off I-5. And we debated because we had like less than a quarter tank, and we looked at the distance on the map and we're like, nah, we're fine. Fuck those dudes. $5 a gallon. We can find it cheaper. And I remember we went. It was in Coalinga, California.
Yeah, but Lee, wasn't the fact that so on the map it just looks like, oh yeah, you just go right here. Just go on this road. But that road
just looks kind of a curvy road or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't very 11 miles or something. I don't know how long it was, but it didn't look all that imposing, and we thought, we're fine. We're not going to run out of fuel. It's fine. Until we got on that road and we realized that the road from I-5 to like 101 or Highway 1 or whatever the fuck it was in Coalinga, California is like a mountain pass road kind of. Like it's a twisty, turny, super dark, no lights, 2-lane, sketchy road the whole way.
Definitely sketchy. And Kevin did something genius. You were driving, right? And I was in the passenger side.
Driving. No, you were driving.
Was it me driving?
I think you guys were in the front and I was in the back. So I don't remember.
Yes.
I think
I'm pretty sure that I was driving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not sure. I guess I'm not 100%.
Right.
No, I think you're right. I think you were driving, Lee.
All I know is like one of those times where we were just like completely like, I was 100% positive we were going to run out of gas like in the middle of this like canyon. It was so dark, and every time like a semi would come, we'd just be freaking out and like
because it was dead, just pitch black, nothing. And then and remember they'd come in like groups of 4 or 5,
like convoy. And we just kept making jokes. We're like, all right, well, again, this is where in horrible situations we just start making jokes. So instead of like normal people would probably be panic mode, we're just like, well, here we are. We're gonna be walking in this 100-degree weather on this canyon in the middle of nowhere. It's going to be like one of those like movies where, a horror movie where you go into like some like hotel with like the lights flickering or something like that. And like it's one guy that comes out and then you're going to get murdered. You're right. So that's how I kind of fucking pictured it. So I was like, oh, this is how it's going to end? Like, really? This is it? So yeah, Kevin was actually recording.
Like I also remember we were driving, we were looking for a fuel station. Like that's what we were looking for. And before we got into that canyon, I remember we were like, we better just get fuel. Like we'd been driving for a little while and we saw lights. Do you guys remember that? We saw like, it looked like a town. Like it looked like a town.
I remember that very vividly.
Yeah. And we all had hope. We're like, oh, thank God. All right, awesome. Cool. We're going to get some fuel. And we pull up, we start going and we get closer and closer and we realize it's a fucking prison.
Wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was San Quentin.
No, because that one's in San Francisco. So it's whatever prison is in Coalinga, California, or thereabouts.
Wow.
Because but I remember we were so like happy to see civilization, and then we realize it's the opposite of civilization. It's a prison. We definitely cannot stop there.
And then we were blasting our air conditioning, and I noticed that was on. I was like, oh God.
Yeah,
So,
and then we had to turn it off because we were like the fuel is burning.
it's below. I think that Kevin had zoomed up on that at the very beginning, but it was out of focus. So I the later time I got it, I put that clip on the video because that at least showed it was like low, but it was literally under the gas low. Like,
Right. No, it was all the way down. And I just looked this up. So I'm looking at the map. Dude, this is more sketchy than I even thought, than I even remember. It was 48 miles from I-5 in Coalinga to 101 in
No
San
way.
Lucas. And it's through the mountains. Like it's fully
Wow.
through the I don't know what they're, San Gabriel Mountains or something. I don't fucking know. But that was so sketchy. That whole thing was so sketchy. And then I remember we rolled out the bottom and we were just so relieved because there was nowhere to even pull over on that road. Like if we'd run out of fuel, we'd have had to stick it on the guardrail and
right.
put the flashers on and hope nobody cleared the car out for us.
right. Yeah. Or we would have been hit by a car
Semi.
or something like
Yeah. No, it was not good.
Yeah, that was really sketchy, but genius move on Kevin's part for busting out his camera because
Yeah, and that was totally candid too. Just the fact that
totally.
we were just
It was
cracking jokes the whole way.
when we came. I don't know if Kevin told us about that.
He didn't.
You know,
No.
And then like
No, I didn't tell you guys the camera was on. I just started recording.
right, but even right after that, because like I think that I found that when I was editing the videos, and I'm like, dude, this is great. Like, because we sound like complete, like especially me. I'm like, oh my God, like, but Kevin's like literally just back in the back, just recording everything, just silent, just like he's like a camera guy on like a reality TV show or something like.
Yeah.
But at least they know the camera's on them. We didn't know. It's like a hidden, camera show. So
Right.
that was
No,
great.
and I remember you asked something like, "Do I smell like brakes or something?" Because
Yeah.
it was burning up the brake. Like it was a sketchy road, and you said you smelled something. I'm like, "Does it smell like piss?" Because I think I just pissed myself.
Right, yeah, there's like a bunch of great lines. Yeah. So, it's so good. And
I just looked it up. Also, Pleasant Valley State Prison was the one.
oh my God,
that we hoped would save us.
that is funny. Yeah, wow. Yeah. So, geez, anything else happen on the way back from that? Or is that?
There wasn't much because we ended up getting a hotel that none of us could afford in San Jose. It was like $300 a night or something ridiculous.
Jeez.
But nothing exciting there. It was just we
Right.
got the hotel and we decided the next day to skip San Francisco and just beat it home. Right?
Yeah.
We're like
That's right.
we're 14 or 15 hours, and I think we made it in under 12. But you guys remember going down the freeway somewhere out of Redding, California, or out of Sacramento, California, and again before cell phones and text messaging and all that, and holding signs up on the windows of Josh's phone number.
Yeah.
Because the carload of girls that kept, back and forth racing for
I remember-
like 20 minutes.
I remember Lee chasing some girl in a Camaro, like a red Camaro or something like that.
Hold on. Can we phrase that a little bit differently? I don't recall chasing a girl.
I guess that didn't sound. Didn't sound.
I feel like we did the number game and they were kind of playing back, and I was like, okay, so I was driving, just kind of jockeying back and forth. So yeah, but I don't recall actually, like stalking after a girl in a Camaro.
Oh God, that's so funny.
And I think that's on the way home also. We made great time because of all the downward passes.
Yeah.
And Lee was like pegging your Corolla as we were going downhill. And I remember him saying something along the lines of, I'm going downhill with a backwind and we're hitting 110 miles an hour now or something ridiculous
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And
I
it's
think
like the
I
only way we
can
get the car up to that speed.
Yeah, and I can definitely say I've taken a 19. What year was that, Josh? 1990.
I think it was like a 1989 Toyota Corolla or a 2000 or something.
I think it's
2001?
fair to say that I have driven a 1990-ish Toyota Corolla faster than anyone has ever driven one. I think that's fair. I think on that trip I was able to get it as fast as that little vehicle was able to go
Oh God.
for sustained periods.
Yeah. So Lee, what are your takeaways from that experience, that road trip that we took?
I mean, I think we're just being grateful. I don't know, like, with time and perspective, grateful that I was hanging out with you guys because, like you said, if like the company you're in is everything,
Right.
And that was a crazy, crazy time that could have been really awful if we were at the wrong people.
Yeah.
So grateful for that, but also grateful that, hey, we weren't impacted by it. And grateful that we live in a country, and, you know, at that moment it was really clear too, where we're free to drive pretty much wherever we want.
Yeah.
With safety and security, and nobody messes with us, and we have all the comforts that we need.
Well, especially when there's no cops on the road.
Yeah. I mean, look, that was a bonus. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a highlight for me, because I like to drive fast.
Right.
And I just remember thinking, hey, we've checked the boxes. Everybody's okay.
Yeah.
This is it. This is my day. This is the day that I can drive as fast as I want. And I'm a selfish asshole for thinking that, instead of like saying, fuck, I better get to the military recruiting office right now so I can get on an airplane and join the military. Like, obviously I'm a selfish dick for that, but you know, but that's what I remember. So that's my takeaway.
I kind of like, you know, mirror what he said. I mean, I said it previously. I think that, like, being with you guys, especially, like, you guys are like, you know, two of my tightest buddies, and the fact that we were able to, you know, it was a shitty event, but we still managed to make do of what the trip was, as far as, you know, we didn't really have a plan in the first place. So we kind of, whatever happened. And we were just doing whatever just to kind of have fun, you know, kind of salvage it.
See, I agree with both you and Lee. I mean, the company was fantastic. The situation of what happened during the trip, out of our control, obviously. But I will say that it is one of the most memorable trips, and I will probably never forget the events of that trip, ever. There were just too many just random. One big thing you left out was Lee was driving back from San Diego. We're on our way through LA. This was the same day as we went from San Diego to San Jose in one day, and then San Jose back to Seattle in one day. But you guys were coming back down I-5, and I think we're heading northbound. And Lee's like, "Oh, Crenshaw Boulevard, never been on there." Right. And stuff the Corolla off the freeway. And
I got us to South Central, man.
Guys, yeah, three white guys in a Toyota Corolla with tinted windows. Again, unnaturally lowered because of the body weight and gear. I think we lasted, 4 city blocks before we were like, okay, this is not cool.
That's right. I took us to South Central.
You did. I mean, right into South Central, and we realized we probably shouldn't be there, and turned around and got right back on the freeway.
I mean, again, though, 9/11 might have bailed us out of that one, too. Like, it'd be interesting to see the stats on gang shootings after 9/11, but they probably dropped for a couple days.
Right. I mean, it literally froze. I heard somebody that was interviewed that was right down next to the towers. Obviously, it's going to be different for them. But, like, I think there was, like, this cop, and he was talking about how he would, you know, after the tower, like, I don't know if the second tower fell, but he would walk up to people, and he's like, "Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay?" And the lady would just stare at him, and he goes, "The best thing I could describe is, like, watching The Walking Dead. Like, when people would, like, they're there, but they're like that blank stare of, like, they don't know, like, what's going on, and they're just kind of like, you know, they just kept walking." And I'm like, dude, that is so creepy. But
I'm finishing up the book Rise and Fall, which is all about this whole thing, and that, I mean, I can't imagine that kind of trauma. I mean, like,
too, because, like, you know, obviously soldiers go through this, like, with, you know, with being in war and stuff like that, but these are, like, just people, like, that are, you know, in the mix of it.
People that just went to work that day.
Yeah, right. So, like, I couldn't even imagine. And the fact that we were, you know, so far away from that, but again, we didn't know what was going on, and we were kind of like, all right, we don't know where to go or what to do, so we're just gonna do whatever we have to do. I mean, you know, what a weird situation to be in, that we were on a road trip. But again, I'm glad that we were on a road trip instead of, like, a flight somewhere, because that would have been
we would have been stranded
a lot different. Yeah. So, but even the effects of that. Remember, Lee, we went to that Mariners playoff game like a month later.
Yeah.
And didn't they stall? I don't know if they canceled, like, football games and baseball games for a while. I don't know.
Yeah. No, the playoffs got put off for a couple weeks. So it was, I think that was the first time they had the World Series in November.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Cause, like, I remember we went to the Mariners playoff, and that was the famous 2001 season, which didn't end great. But I just remember, I think I brought my video camera to that, but I remember, like every time a plane would fly over, even that, we'd be like,
Right.
That's
yeah,
like
it was unsettling.
yeah. Yeah. Like, and it was weird, right? Like just stuff like that is something you don't even think about now. But back then it was one of those things where you just don't know. Cause like everyone's on edge. So, but there's a lot of things we could get into as far as, 9/11 and all this stuff that.
Yeah, that's a 20-year rabbit hole.
Yeah. So, but I don't want to do that. I want to stick to kind of like, our fun trip and everything like that. You guys have anything you want to like add to this experience? I mean, I think we covered pretty much most of it.
I was going to say it was a great trip, and I'm going to steal what you were just going to say. After that, I wish I had done more road trips and taken more time at a younger age.
Yeah, but you probably did more than a lot of your other friends as well. I mean, I didn't we go on a road?
I think we all did pretty well.
Yeah, we did. We didn't. It's not like we like wasted like time and stuff like that. Just going over the beginning of that year, just itself, it's pretty wild. I mean, like we did a lot more than a lot of people that I know. So, I mean, we just packed it into a short period of time.
Right. No, but I think that's the standing memory I have from all of that, doing all that stuff with you guys. I mean, obviously, a ton of the best moments of my life have been spent with you guys, but sort of that little thing in general, as it relates to sort of 9/11 and the freedoms that we have and all that stuff. People go on road trips, go drive around this country, go explore stuff, and don't have a full plan. Take a paper map and see where that gets you. Like,
especially
go do
when
that,
you can do it.
Most of the shit that happened on this trip that was memorable and nutty is because we didn't overplan it. We just went.
Exactly. I mean, I went on a road trip with Kevin and Sarah, and was it Shauna too? Was that to Wyoming?
Sarah, Shauna, Nate.
Yes. We went to Wyoming. I mean, even that was like memorable, you know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah, it's fun because that's what makes the movie Vacation, National Lampoon's Vacation, so good. Is because they literally did like film that in different areas of the country, and the end of it was Wally World, but that's not the most memorable part of the movie. Like the most memorable part of the movie is the adventure of driving. It's
all
down
the crazy
to,
shit that happens when it goes wrong. Right?
Yeah, and it's accurate. I mean, it's obviously not dragging an Etna behind the
right
or whatever. But hey guys, I definitely I just wanted to talk about this. I was happy to be on that trip with you guys that day. It was scary being so far away from home, but at least like we said, we were able to freely roam around in our own vehicle, and even though it was heavily weighed down by Lee and the alcohol in the back, we still made it. We still made it all fine. And could have been worse. We could have been in those towers, or the poor firemen that were saving their lives, rushing up when everyone was rushing down. So
absolutely.
I still can't believe it was 20 years. It's been 20 years since that day, or since that week and that year. But yeah, definitely want to thank you guys for reminiscing, talking about that crazy event. And yeah, anything else you want to add, Lee?
I don't know. I think we should all go for a road trip.
Let's do it, man.
Yep. Wild hog.
That'd be awesome. Well, Space Cowboys. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks again. We're gonna have you definitely have you come back on a future episode. It's always easy to talk to you guys, just because I know you so well. So thanks again for coming on.
And thank you to Home Depot for being the best sponsor.
Yeah, thanks Home Depot and and Kevin. Get back to work, buddy.
Awesome. Will do.
All right. Talk to you later, man.
All right, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends podcast. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. If you enjoy listening to the podcast, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow the show. And check out some of the video clips posted on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Josh, and thank you for being a friend.